Ooh, look how pretty. So hey y'all, it's Gigi with Shea-Mergency, and today we are going to make bath bombs. So we know that right now eggs are extremely high, and if you're like me, I ain't buying no high $5, $6 egg. And we know we need something fun to do with the kids because Easter is coming. And so if we don't have the eggs to do, then this is a beautiful alternative, and it's cheap. It's very cheap and it's simple to do, and it gives you the chance to talk about the real reason for Easter, and that's the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So takes the attention off the eggs and off the high prices of eggs and puts it on a fun activity that you can also use after the fact, because you can use this for the tub. It gives you ample opportunity. The very first thing that you want to get is, and all these things you can buy off of Amazon, or you can go to the store and buy the other products that I'm going to mention. But these bath bomb molds, you can get these off of Amazon. You can also get bath bomb molds from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and they're fairly cheap bath bomb molds. All right, so the next thing we're going to go over is our ingredients. You're going to need baking soda. You can get some baking soda right from Dollar General. Easy peasy, a couple dollars. Enough bath bombs for everyone. You're gonna need citric acid. I make organic products, organic soap, so I buy very large quantities of citric acid, but you can buy citric acid off of Amazon in how much ever you need for a small batch of bath bombs. Citric acid, like Epsom salt. You can use a colloidal oats. If you have a really good blender, like a professional grade blender, you can take oats and blend them to very fine powder consistency, and use that and put it in your bath bomb. You need some type of oil or some type of fragrance oil. I'm going to use sweet almond oil. You can also use essential oils. If you can also buy those off of Amazon. Lavender oil, anything that's soothing and calming. I would suggest any oil, orange oil, tangerine oil, any of those essential oils that you want. You can use those in there for the fragrance and also for the benefits. You're going to need water. You can get a spray bottle from Dollar General. You can use witch hazel. You can use a combination. You can get this also from Dollar General. You can use witch hazel and water combination, or you can just use the water. I'm going to just use water, but it's completely up to you. You can use clays, kaolin clay or bentonite clay, rose clay, French green clay, any clay that you can find on Amazon. They're really good for detoxification and also helping get that soothing element in there. So you can kind of put anything in your bath bomb that you would like, as long as it's dissolvable in water and very beneficial for your skin. Salts, pink sea salt, like I told you about the Epsom salt, Dead Sea salt, anything that you can find on Amazon that you want to put in there, and we'll go over measurements later. You can put that in there. I'm going to make mine very basic. I'm a very basic type chick. I just like it to be effective and somewhat cute, smell good, and be effective. So last thing that you are going to need is some type of colorant. So these are Crafter's Choice colorants. I get these from Wholesale Supplies Plus. There are several different places you can get colors from. You can get liquid colors, I know for a fact, off of Amazon, but I get mine from Wholesale Supplies Plus. And I wanted to go over some things about colorants so that you won't get, like, we're not doing eggs, but we don't want our bath bombs to smell like eggs. So if you don't want to get that sulfur effect, that smell once it mixes with the citric acid, then okay guys, so you put your baking soda in a bowl. You'll have a cup of baking soda, and it's just really fine and powdery. It's really a fun activity that you can do with the kids because you can be hands-on and they get to feel so many different textures and enjoy and learn so many different things while they are watching it transform into a bath bomb. So that's your cup of baking soda. You're going to put a teaspoon of the colorant in a bowl or any type of container that you have, and you're going to add the oil in there with the colorant. That way it allows the color to mix evenly and not float all over the place. Because if you just pour it in here, it's mica powder. It's gonna like float everywhere. You'll see all the speckles of it floating in the air. But if you put it in here, it'll mix thoroughly. See that? And you just put it in there. So I use 1 cup of baking soda. The citric acid we put off to the side. That's going to be a 1/2 cup. And then 2 tablespoons of sweet almond oil was what I used here. And then 1 teaspoon of color. Okay. So all you do is you add the color and the oil to the baking soda. We're not going to add the citric acid yet because when you put in any type of liquid, like we're going to add the water in a minute, to citric acid, it's going to bubble up really fast and you're going to kind of like waste your mixture or mess up your mixture. So you're just going to stir this together, and this is what I like to do, is to get hands-on with it. And you just mix it together like that. This makes it a lot more hands-on for the kids. You can use a sifter to sift the color in there if you were doing it for more of a professional reason to make it easier. But this way you can, messy. You can mix it up like this so the kids can have a really hands-on experience. You see that? Pretty orange color that you need. You can mix the colors. You can do bath bombs that are all one color. It's completely up to you. Depending on how much oil you put in here, but you see how the color, it starts to get more vibrant as you go along. So don't be disheartened. Just keep working with it. And like I said, this is wonderful for the kids because they get to feel the texture of it. They get to watch the chemistry of it, of the colors mixing into the baking soda. And look at that. So because I used oil, you'll start to see that the baking soda has that gelling together kind of. And as you add the water, you'll see it'll gel even more together and it'll feel like wet sand. The texture that you're going to be looking for is wet sand. So I'm going to get the water and we're going to just squirt the water in there. That's why you need the water bottle. All right, so I have my water bottle here and I'm just going to squirt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a couple of squirts in there and then mix it. And what you want is, like I said, for it to kind of hold together. And see how it just fell down in there without separating. You kind of want that like a wet sand texture. I'm going to add just a couple more sprays in there. So I want it to just be a little more solidified. There we go. See that? Kind of want to hold it, get it to hold together as much as possible. Whisk it there a little bit more to make sure it's nice and mixed. And then from here, you'll add the citric acid. So when you do it this way, adding the citric acid into the mixture that already has the liquid, then the citric acid won't react to the water and will start bubbling up. It'll just nicely mix. See that? If you put the citric acid in the baking soda beforehand and then add the liquids, there's a higher chance for you to see fizzing, and then you'll have to add it like really, really slow. And this just makes everything easier doing it this way. So there you are. You have your bath bomb mixture. And all you do, we'll make 1 bath bomb from this color. And then we will make the other colors. And then you can mix and match the colors. And you'll do whatever you like. See, it's like a wet sand feel. Not too wet, not too dry. Just enough to hold a shape. Okay, now you want to take your mold. And you want to just add in the bath bomb mixture there, and you don't want to pack it too hard. I just kind of let the weight of the mixture way down in there and just wipe. I don't like to really pack it because then it doesn't gel together when you do the joining. So I don't like to pack. I just like to lightly scoop it in there and let it kind of sit. And if I do feel like I need to pack it, I'll just do that. Do the same thing with this one. The other side. And you just cookie them together. Mash them together. Like so, like that. Get some of that off of there. And you would let this sit overnight so that it can gel together. But I'm going to attempt to take it off and see how pretty that is. Look how cute. It's a cute little ball. So if you're just stuck on the Easter egg thing, you still kind of get that effect. See how pretty that is? Now, this is going to come right apart if I don't let it dry. That's why I'm being so gentle. But this is how you make bath bombs. You let it sit for 24 hours overnight, it will get hard. You let it sit for an entire week, and then it will float in the water. And once it's hard, it does not come apart. But while it's fresh, look how pretty that is. It breaks right apart. So we are going to leave this mixture, and then we're going to make the other two, the pink and the orange, and then I'll show you how you can mix them all together. That initial dyeing on your hands, you can always use gloves. Pretty. So pretty. Oh, that's so gorgeous. DIY. Alright guys, here's the last color. This is our orange. Like I said, you can choose any color orange you like, any color period that you like. These are just the colors that I have on hand. And I don't have a lot of colors because I don't use a lot of colors in my products. So I didn't have a large inventory of colors. I don't use colors at all in my products, but I do use it for bath bombs when I do them for fun activities like this. So I did have some in stock. All right, so you mix it real well. You squirt your water, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mix it up again. And then you'll see it starts to gel together. And you add your citric acid, which is a 1/2 cup of citric acid. And you mix. So see, there's no fizzing if you let the water absorb into the baking soda first. And it gets even more vibrant when you add that citric acid. Did you see that color change? So pretty. It sat a little longer and it got a little brighter from the beginning of the video. So if you want to do an interesting bath bomb, what you can add the different colors as I want to layer them. Like so, like that. Make sure it packs a little bit. Wipe my hands off some like that in there. And add a little bit more of the orange. And just pour it in there like that. Make a yellow center. And put just a little bit more yellow on there. And then you sandwich these together. And then you'll get a super colorful mixture and very interesting and beautiful bath bomb. Put that in there. And add a little bit more of the orange. And just pour it in there like that. Make a yellow center. Look at that, it's so pretty. And you can do all kinds of variations. Like this is limitless. There is no limit to the variations that you can put together with Galaxy bath bombs. That's all you do. And this is so much fun for the kids because they can do their own little signature bath bombs. A fun way to celebrate this season, cheap and fun, and this will last much longer than the day of Easter. Gives you time to talk about Jesus. It gives you time to talk about the reason for the season. It gives you time to talk about just to spend with your children and with your grandkids. You don't have to spend a ton of money. And then they will always remember it every time they take a bath. Look at that. Look how cute. And then so this mixture, this mixed bowl, you can also just mix it all together and make a kaleidoscope looking bath bomb. So nothing goes to waste. Take it down a little bit. As the mixture gets a little drier, you might have to maybe add a squirt or just pack it down a little bit. Just a little bit, not a lot. You want to let it be enough in there to where when you smash it together, that be the packing that you need, and it'll gel together. Knock some of that off of there. Look at that. So pretty that we made today. Pretty. If you have any like excess, if you have a lot of excess, you can either like make half moons, put it in half of it, half of the mold, or you can use like an ice cube tray and pack it in there just the same way and let that harden. Or you could just use crumble. Like you can take this crumble and just like put it in like form it in like kind of bigger pieces, right? Not necessarily balls, but just pieces. Or if you want to make balls, you can make balls. And then just let it dry. And then you can just use that as bath crumble. When you put it in the water, it will fizz and still have the same effect. There you have it, guys. Bath bombs. And like I said, you can use any color you like. Look how pretty that is. See, it will fall apart if you don't let it harden. So I'm glad I showed you that. I'm glad that happened so that you can see. I was just doing it for you to see how pretty they came out. But you do have to let them inside the mold like that for 24 hours at least. I'm going to drop one of these in there prematurely just so you can see the fizzing action. It fizzes. How much our bath bomb fizzes. I'm going to use the one that we saw break a little bit. See that? I'm going to use that one. For those that are concerned about the dyes and the bath bombs, this is just the general washing, like getting my bowl ready for the water. And then I wash my hands one time and the color comes right off. So it comes right off. So don't worry about your kids not having on gloves. But like I said, if you like to use gloves, you're more than welcome to. We're just going to drop this baby right into the water. And you're going to see it in action. This is hot water. I could have made it cold. It really doesn't matter. Water, period, is going to make that citric acid fizz. And there you go. Boom! Look how pretty! Then you get to see all the colors in action. But that is a gorgeous fizz, isn't it? Look at that. And so the longer you let it sit, the harder it will get. And then that fizzing action will last even longer. So you want to let it sit for as long as you can. But we just made these, 5-10 minutes ago, and you still get all that fizz, and it's just beautiful. So this is great for the kids. It's exciting. And if you also, like I said, if you have some residual left, you can use this as crumble in the tub, or you can use do a half moon, or you can put them in ice trays and then just put them in and, as small little blocks into the tub, and it still will. See that? Fizz. Colloidal oats. You can add clays in here to get that detoxification. You can add oils. You can add fragrances. I didn't add any fragrances into this mixture because I just didn't feel like it was necessary. But if you want fragrance in yours, you can add fragrance. If you want essential oils in there so you can get the benefits of the essential oils for your skin, you can do that. You don't want to make it too oily, or then you'll have to add more things like polysorbate, which most people don't have that on hand. So you don't want to do that because the polysorbate kind of helps the water and the oils mix together. And you don't want to make it too oily either because you don't want to slip and slide in the tub too much. So there you have it, guys. And then you can, like I said, you can put an Epsom salt in here. That Epsom salt also is soothing, helps relax your muscles. That's it. So that is a fun way to enjoy some time with your kids this Easter, and it's much cheaper than eggs right now.